What if I was to tell you that I subscribe to dozens of YouTube channels? I do. Maybe you do as well. I think we all do, right? And then we're like, what am I going to watch? Well, you can watch a lot, and you can watch the next three channels I'm going to be talking about. Relatively new, love them all, and I really think you should take the time to discover them. Let's talk about it. So how do we find channels? It's a pretty simplistic question, right? How do we find them? Well, we find them through the algorithm, right? I certainly do. And then our subject matters, our likes, our hobbies, and then we search them out on YouTube, right? Obviously, we go and we plug in things into the search field and such. So for me, again, in terms of the dozens, no exaggeration, I guess some people, maybe they do hundreds of subscribing to channels. I've got dozens, and a lot of times it gets chaotic, and it's like, what am I going to watch? So when I find really good channels, I want to spread the word, and that's what I'm doing. All right, first up, this is the Tachyon Pulse podcast. Host is Jay. Very proper British dude, very proper. Jay's a good guy. I've been on his show a couple times, and he's just great. What I love about Jay and Tachyon Pulse is that, like he says before each video, fact, rumor, information about Star Trek science fiction. A lot of it is Star Trek, but he does Stargate, does, other things as well. So, but Star Trek is definitely a focus. That's one of my focuses. And so, bottom line is Tachyon Pulse has done some great scoops. They did a little show called Starfleet Academy, not getting renewed for season 3. This is a fact. I think he scooped everyone. Certainly he was one of the earliest. And that's something to definitely crow about. Right? Crow about. All right. So, Tachyon Pulse, if you like sci-fi, if you like Star Trek like me, you're going to love it. Okay. Next up, Among the Sierra Nevada. Right away, I just love that title. I love the channel name, Among the Sierra Nevada. Now, I found this channel through a video about Bigfoot, about Sasquatch, one of my sort of passions. And the host was great about making the point about, recently, if you guys know, Patterson-Gimlin film, the legendary PGF it's called, that's of Patty, the purported Bigfoot is strolling along in Bluff Creek, that it's probably a hoax, or they think it is. They have proof now. Okay. I haven't seen the documentary. I think it's coming out, or it's out fairly recently. But the host of Among the Sierra Nevada says that even if it turns out to be a hoax, it doesn't really matter. And I agree. Of course, why? Because for centuries, people have been seeing things in the woods all over. A lot of people also think that it's only in the Pacific Northwest. I read a statistic that Florida, of all places, has more Bigfoot sightings than almost any other state. I kid you not. Florida. I think, do they call it skunk ape down there? I believe, or was that Louisiana Cajun? But certainly, it really kind of blows your mind. It's in every state. There are sightings of Sasquatch, Bigfoot, skunk ape in every state. So certainly, there's something going on. So what's great about Among the Sierra Nevada as well is they're making a video game. He's making it with his children. It's a cryptid sort of, I guess, a Squatch or, Chupacabra, maybe even Loch Ness or Yeti, cryptids, like a survival cryptid find sort of hunt game or something. Sounds great. Definitely want to learn more about Among the Sierra Nevada. All right, and finally, last but not least, we've got Solid Oxide. Solid Oxide, the Solid Oxide team. Good guy Joe runs it, and I'll tell you, it is really wacky and weird. And I say this affectionately because in my book, I don't know about you, but in my book, weird is good. And so it's got this vibe. It covers kind of everything. It does focus a lot more on video games, on Star Trek, but it even does sort of film noir. Just really good stuff. It's a great blend of everything. It's a great buffet. A great melange. Okay? So, Solid Oxide, I think what I love best is the vibe, is that sort of environment. So instead of, every channel, look, my channel, people could like certain things. I cover a lot of science fiction, mostly sci-fi guy, focus on, say, Star Trek, Star Wars, and MCU. But what I'm saying is I try to bring a vibe. I try to bring a quality to my channel. And I think with solid oxide, this is what Joe and the team does. Like you're in good hands because it's not just we're going to report on stuff or give you some stuff. We're going to give you a vibe, an atmosphere. Dare I say world building? There you go. Right? That term about world building, like say the MCU or Lord of the Rings or Star Trek or Star Wars. So what do you think? 3 channels, Tacky and Pulse Podcast, among the Sierra Nevada, and the solid oxide team. Okay? You could do worse. You might do better, but you could do worse. These are good channels. Check them out. All you got to say, Will, you steered me wrong or you loved it. And I think you're going to love it, all right? Give us your thoughts and give us your feedback. As always, hope you're enjoying, hope you're subscribing. See you soon.
Logic is the beginning of wisdom, but not with the sci-fi guy.